more revenue collection in the pipeline this year. NEEAP 2.0 to boost job opportunities, business potential and investments. Good evening and Salam Malaysia Madani. You're watching Malaysia Tonight. I'm Shuhaida Arifin. The Health Ministry or MOH will expand and improve existing health facilities in efforts to provide the best treatment to cancer patients, especially children.
Deputy Health Minister Datuk Lukan Isman Awang Sauni said this action is necessary to improve the quality of life for these children who are receiving treatment for the disease, as well as to ensure awareness of cancer education. Elaborating further, the Deputy Minister said cancer is a disease on the rise in Malaysia, especially among children, and over 700 children under the age of 15 are diagnosed with the disease every year, or an average of 2 children per day. However, he noted that with the progress of treatment available, there has been a dramatic increase in the chances of recovery for these children, with more than 70% of them having recovered. With this reason, Datuk Lukan Isman stressed that the Health Ministry will find the best method to provide treatment to these childhood cancer patients. He also urged the corporate sector to cooperate with the MOH in raising awareness among the public about childhood cancer. He said the childhood cancer patients need to be given attention just as other children, both in terms of love and learning, and it is hoped that these cancer fighters can show others that cancer is not the end.
And despite having ignited success and inspiration in the digital space industry, women still face challenges in the digital world such as harassment, doxing and sexism. Quoting a Kaspersky report published last month, Deputy Communications Minister Teo Ni Ching said 46% of Malaysian respondents experience various forms of online violence and harassment.
This is totally unacceptable, and we must take decisive action to create safer and more inclusive digital environment. In response to these challenges, initiatives like the revamp of the Content Code by Content Forum demonstrates the power of collaboration in creating safer online space. By including provisions against aligned gender-based violence and emphasizing respect and equality as the expected content standard, we set a precedent for a more inclusive digital ecosystem.
Teo also said that from January 2023 until 15 February this year, 709 pornographic content had been removed from social media through the collaboration of the Malaysian Communications and Multimedia Commission (MCMC) and social media platform providers. During the same period, 2,525 posts containing bullying or harassment elements were also removed. Teo noted all of these are part of the efforts by the Communications Ministry through the MCMC to ensure that these platforms are not being misused. She also urged social media platform providers to tighten their user guidelines to show no tolerance for any form of online violence.
Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim hopes the Inland Revenue Board (LHDN) will be able to collect more revenue than the board's projection of 197 billion ringgit this year. He said LHDN had succeeded in creating a new record in tax collection last year of 183.34 billion ringgit, which was 4.49% more than the total collected the year before.
Speaking at the 28th Revenue Day celebration today, he said Malaysia, however, still has a low tax base, which is around 11.2% of the gross domestic product, compared to the other neighbouring countries such as Singapore at 12.6% and Thailand 16.4%. Not denying the steps taken by the LHDN had succeeded in increasing the country's revenue, but at the same time, the Premier urged companies and individuals to carry out their responsibilities and come forward to pay taxes.
Bilangan syarikat yang membayar cukai pun relatif rendah bagi syarikat-syarikat yang ada di negara kita. Umpamanya dari 1.5 juta syarikat berdaftar di Malaysia, kurang dari setengah juta itu yang membayar cukai, 435,000. Ini maknanya kurang daripada 29% syarikat berdaftar yang membayar cukai.
As of 31st December last year, the number of individual taxpayers was 5.7 million, with collection revenue of 40.96 billion ringgit. And for companies, it was 539,113, with collection revenue of 98.77 billion ringgit. According to the Premier, the increase in tax collection from the efforts of LHDN and the Customs Department has helped to improve the Sumbangan Asas Rahmah or SARA program, which has doubled its payment as the number of recipients jumped to 700,000 compared to 210,000 the year before.
Now, adding to that, the Prime Minister also wants efforts to reduce the country's fiscal deficit to continue so that the future generations will not be burdened. He said continuous efforts and initiatives are important for the country to achieve a lower fiscal deficit target, while at the same time continuing to restore the confidence of domestic and foreign investors to invest here.
As of the end of December 2023, government debt totaled 1.17 trillion ringgit, or 64.3% of the gross domestic product.
Kita cabar dengan kedudukan ringgit. Dan saya terangkan di banyak tempat walaupun ada kritikan dan rakan-rakan di perbendaraan dan bank negara sedang mengambil langkah-langkah yang wajar. Tetapi tidak wajar untuk hanya dikaitkan soal ringgit padahal inflasi rendah. Pada krisis 98, ringgit jatuh merudum dan inflasi terus melonjak. Pelaburan tak datang. Pengangguran meningkat. Syarikat-syarikat muflis itu mencecah ratusan ribu. Hal sedemikian tidak berlaku. Jadi kita harus lihat dalam konteks yang keseluruhannya.
Malaysia was previously reported to have recorded 329.5 billion ringgit in approved investments in 2023, or 23% higher than in 2022, making it the highest in the country's history.
Now, the Energy Transition and Water Transformation Ministry, or PETRA, and the Energy Commission, EC, are developing the National Energy Efficiency Action Plan 2.0, 2026-2035, and EEAP 2.0 to continue the government's efforts to achieve the targets of the National Energy Transition Plan.
Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Fadilah Yusof said the government expects more job opportunities, business potential and investment to be created for the benefit of the people and the country through the implementation of NEEAP 2.0. He said the government had previously launched the National Energy Transition Roadmap (NETR), which outlined the country's efforts and commitment towards achieving a sustainable and inclusive energy system.
NETR membuktikan keazaman kerajaan dalam melaksanakan inisiatif palihan tenaga daripada ekonomi berasaskan bahan api fosil tradisional kepada ekonomi hijau bernilai tinggi serta memastikan transformasi ekonomi lestari ini berupaya menjana sumber pertumbuhan baharu, mewujudkan peluang perniagaan dan potensi perdagangan.
Datuk Seri Fadilah, who is also the Energy Transition and Water Transformation Minister, said the government has set a commitment to increase the mix of renewable energy RE capacity in the country's electricity supply to 70% by 2050 compared to 25% currently.
The government has agreed to reinstate the cabotage policy exemption for foreign ships involved in submarine cable repair in a bid to attract more foreign investments in the data center industry and stimulate the growth of the digital economy. Transport Minister Anthony Loke said the move was approved during a cabinet meeting chaired by Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim today.
Keputusan ini adalah susulan daripada pelbagai sesi libat urus dengan syarikat-syarikat gegasi teknologi maklumat antarabangsa dalam tempoh beberapa bulan yang lalu. oleh pelbagai kementerian dan agensi termasuk Kementerian Pengangkutan, BT dan sebagainya. Ini membuktikan bahawa kerajaan madani mengamalkan dasar mesra perabur, investor friendly.
Following the Cabinet's decision today, Lok said the Transport Ministry will take the necessary steps for the gazetting process, adding the effective date for this exemption will be announced later. Meanwhile, Lok said the Cabinet has also agreed to implement again the cabotage policy for ships operating cargo services from the peninsula to Sarawak. This is following the Sarawak government's request to support the local shipping industry's growth, which has been under pressure due to the cabotage policy exemption since June 2017.
Dan Kerajaan Sarawak telah pun memberikan maklum balas kepada Kementerian Pengangkutan bahawa pengecualian dasar kabotaj untuk Sarawak telah pun membantutkan perkembangan industri perkapalan, khususnya di Sarawak. Sebelum pengecualian dasar kabotaj, ada 12 syarikat perkapalan Malaysia yang aktif dalam perkhidmatan kargo. Tetapi selepas beberapa tahun ini, kita tinggal hanya 5 syarikat yang aktif. Dan dasar kabotaj ini perlu dilaksanakan semula untuk membantu pertumbuhan sektor perkapalan tempatan, khususnya di antara Semenanjung ke Sarawak.
Lok said that the exemption of cabotage policy for vessels carrying out cargo services from the peninsula to Sabah and Labuan will, however, remain in line with the Sabah government's stance.
China-based manufacturer of solar encapsulant film, Zhejiang Sinopoint Technology Company Limited, has established its first manufacturing facility outside China in Perak. The newly inaugurated manufacturing facility, situated in Tasik Industrial Park, Ipoh, will commence operations immediately.
The facility is dedicated to producing solar cell encapsulant film with a production capacity of 85 million square meter encapsulants to cover about 10 gigawatts of demand. At the opening ceremony today, Perak Menteri Besar Datuk Sakrani Mohamad said the investment reflects a high confidence in the state's potential and capabilities, as well as being a symbol of progress in industrial innovation, especially in the production of solar cell encapsulated films.
Kilang solar yang akan memulakan pengeluarannya menjelang suku pertama tahun ini telah berjaya mewujudkan lebih 200 peluang pekerjaan buat masa ini dan dijangka melalui fasa pembangunan seterusnya lebih banyak peluang pekerjaan bakal diwujudkan yang seterusnya memacu lebih banyak pelaburan dan juga kemakmuran ke negeri Perak.
Zhejiang Sinopoint's investment in Perak will go through several phases and is expected to reach a production capacity of 300 million square meters to meet the demand of 30 gigawatts, with the total investments estimated at about 2 billion ringgit, including future projects in Perak.